My name is Racheal Nduhukire, and I'm an actress, vocalist, and violinist. On Monday, I will be hosted on the Made in Uganda podcast from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. East African time. Can't wait to see you guys there. The link will be posted in my bio and on their page as well. See you there, guys. A wink. This Racheal has learned that adulting is a thing. You guys, adulting is, it's real, it exists, and it entails adapting to situations. Confidence is also something that comes from within. So I would say, affirm yourself. Tell yourself that you are good enough. Pride comes before a fall, and humility costs you nothing. So that's how I handle fame. Being an older sibling is tough, because we experience things that our younger siblings don't. And when we explain them to them, they don't understand. So take time to understand your siblings before you try to direct them. Somehow, you will never be enough to the world. But if you understand that as an individual, you are enough, and that to God, you are enough, all those things people say, yes, will affect you, but it won't tear you down.
So we were chatting earlier with Racheal, and you were telling me about how you had coursework and you were overwhelmed. So I just want to get right into that. How do you balance being a student and an actress, a working actress as well?
It is so much work. I cannot lie to you that I'm even balancing. Actually, I think right now I'm trying to find my balance. But I would say scheduling everything is very important. Like, I have timetables for the smallest thing, having supper, exercising, reading the Bible. There's a timetable. So I find that allocating time for different tasks has really helped me balance this far. And I'm still looking for more coping mechanisms. So if you have any, guys, feel free. I'm taking all and any help. Thanks.
Hey, Melissa. I watch.
Oh, thank you, Abigail. I appreciate you.
You're welcome.
So Abigail has brought up Sanyu. And that's really a Ugandan film that's really caught up down period. I started watching it with my family, and we've been hooked ever since we started. How were you able to access that opportunity?
Specifically for Sanyu, I happened to just check on the Nabuiso Films website and the Facebook page, and I saw a casting call. So I read through the descriptions, because normally casting calls have they do typecasting, which means they basically look for certain attributes in the person they're casting for. So I read through the character, and I was like, I don't fit any of these attributes they've described, but I went to audition anyway because I lose nothing. And I auditioned, and God really blessed me with the opportunity to get the role of Melissa Cantono. That's how I ended up as Melissa on Sanyu.
Racheal, you seem to be a very grounded person, someone who's grounded in your worldviews, in your religion, principled, you said, strict, you said. So what are your top 3 values that you apply in life?
My top 3 values. God is definitely at the top of the list. Like, nothing should compromise my love for God. Nothing does. And if it does, then I obviously go back in repentance and be like, yo, God, I'm sorry. God, family is very important. And I feel like I wouldn't say on the journey to fame, I feel like that's a very big, it's a leap, but as we grow, we interact with many different opportunities, and it's very easy to lose touch with where we started from. But family is like very important. What else? So we see, I want to say good friends, because I feel I don't say it's a verse, but there's something that says, show me your friends and I'll show you your fill in the blanks.
Who you are.
Thank you. Yeah, so I feel like having good friends is also, it helps with the support system that you have to get you to where you want to be in life. Those are the 3. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Would the Racheal of, the Racheal of 2014 think that you would be here in 2021?
2014 Racheal did not see me here today. 2014 Racheal was she had her life figured out, quote unquote, because how my options were sort of like drawn out for me. So I knew acting was not going to be a thing because there were no opportunities. So I was like, you know what, let's just move on to the next best thing, which was education. This Racheal has learned that adulting is a thing. You guys, adulting is, it's real, it exists, and it entails adapting to situations. I'm proud to say that the person I am now is a lot more fluid. Like circumstances come up abrupt most times, and I'm able to adapt and adopt and like flow and be and put in my best to be the person I need to be at that particular time. The 2014 Racheal would have panicked and freaked out and said, "This is not according to a plan. Like we had a plan. This is supposed to happen." But I've learned that life sometimes just happens, and the best thing you can do is do your best in the circumstances you're placed in.
Well, for those of you who don't know, Rachel is also a student and she's studying when she told me her course, I was like, whoa, she's studying international relations and diplomacy. Am I right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So why that course and what do you intend to do with the knowledge you gain in this, while studying this course?
Wow, sis. Just okay. International relations and diplomacy. I have always been passionate about humanitarianism and service and philanthropy and giving back. You know the drill. And my mom happened to study international relations and diplomacy. And from the things she spoke about and the way she conducted herself, I realized that it aligned very much with my vision for philanthropy. And that got me thinking programs like high school programs like Model United Nations and like that whole situation that gets you thinking and feeling like as a Ugandan youth, how am I helping my country? So having exposure to those things made me realize that I am indeed the change that the country needs. Maybe not holistically, but I contribute to it greatly. And that inspired my decision to study international relations and diplomacy because I'm very passionate about the future of Uganda and Uganda's youth. And I feel like if I'm in a knowledgeable position, based off the education I get, I will be able to better apply myself to the circumstances the country is facing. Yes.
It's a very unconventional course. Even what you're doing is very unconventional, being an actress. We admire it as the youth, I mean, because we are more exposed, but I would assume you've faced a lot of stereotyping from older generations, or not even just older generations, but even your counterparts. How do you deal with that if you've faced it?
To start with, I have faced it. People think artists are wild, like we're just there. We are rastas, and it doesn't help that now I cut the sides of my hair. Like there's just so much controversy happening with me right now. But how I've dealt with it is remembering who I am. The thing about society and the world is that people will always judge you based off the norms that society sets. Like you're supposed to be prim and proper, or an artist is this and that. But remembering who you are and staying true to yourself is very integral in withstanding stereotypes or like backlash that is beyond your control. I can't lie though, in the beginning, I was suffering. It even affected my performance as Melissa because I come from a Christian family and my general family, like not even a nuclear family, even extended family is very conservative. So I would be shooting a scene and I'm skimpily dressed and I'm thinking, what will Kaka think when she sees this? Like she's going to freak out. And eventually I realized that no one can understand. I mean, if your heart is pure, if your intentions are pure, and like the principles which you asked about are not being compromised, then you do not owe anyone an explanation and you should not feel attacked for doing something that you love. Yeah.
Okay, so Nkore Julian is asking, hey, how do I join the acting industry?
Julian, that's an excellent question. I would say, first of all, the Ugandan film industry is very small, like so small it hurts. So my advice to you would be follow the small directors who have low-key made it, the big shots of the industry. Because the thing about these people is that they don't really look, people look for them, yeah? So they post things on their pages and they expect you to see them. They won't publicize them or anything. So put yourself in a position where you have access to this information. If you follow their pages, you see casting calls and then you're able to audition, or you have ample time to prepare and then audition well. So that's actually how I ended up getting the role of Melissa. If I hadn't checked, I wouldn't know. I would be somewhere studying international relations and giving up on acting. So I would say, put yourself in a position where you have access to all the information that is being put out by the people who have influence in the industry.
That's very important. I think many times we sit back and we wait for the opportunities to come. Grab
True.
them, please.
Thanks.
Samuel Abaho is asking, how did you embrace a somewhat villain role, yet you're such a sweet person?
It took a while. I cannot lie to you that it just happened. It took a while. It took a lot of reinforcement from, I would say, greats. One of my acting mentors happened to be on the Sanyu project the first season. His name is Michael Awuyo Jr. If he's here, hi Michael. And he did a lot of reinforcing and encouraging and telling me, you know what, you're doing great, and this is how you can do better. So embracing the role also took a lot of research, a lot. I used to watch videos of, I've forgotten the name of the show, but it's a show about juveniles who are very disrespectful. And acting has a lot to do with observing, because when you observe people, you learn how they behave. And then that will help you when you're embracing a character similar to someone you've seen. So that also helped a lot. Also reading books on acting, that is very important. Yeah, that's how I embraced the role of Melissa.
Thank you very much. Hi, Racheal.
Hi, Amy.
I love your acting. I love your singing. I'm asking a question. So, like, how do you think it's really possible for like a laid-back, introverted person to join the acting industry? Because I feel like it is more of like expressing yourself so much, like, you get it, eh? Yeah, so, and I'm one of like those people, and I love acting so much. So
I would say that is actually a beautiful quality. People may assume, being on screen comes with many assumptions. You look confident, you look rich, you look well put together. Personally, I am also very, very, very introverted. Like, I would prefer to stay home and read a book than go out to a party. But that's something you can use to your advantage, because normally introverts are more observant, you're more retrospecting, you have like, we have so many advantageous attributes to us that would help you bring out a perfect actor. So I would say, if you are introverted, acting is definitely for you, even if you're extroverted. But you could use the things that society may assume as your weaknesses, as your strengths, by learning to observe, so that when you do act, it's beautiful. Confidence is also something that comes from within. So I would say, affirm yourself. Tell yourself that you are good enough.
Hello, Racheal.
Hi, Castine.
I'm so happy to hear you. My question is, in the preparation stage, what are those things that you do, that you keep on doing, that have made you the person you are, both in acting and in music? And then the other question is, which actors do you look up to here in Uganda, the male and female actor? Yeah. So basically, that's it.
Thank you, Castine, for those brilliant questions. So, as an actress, my preparation basically comprises of me reading through the scripts. So the thing about scripts is that they don't give you the entirety of your character or what you do. It's basically what we call the bones. It's like a skeleton. And then as an artist or actor, you fill in the gaps with the knowledge of who your character is, their journey, where they come from, and so on and so forth. So when I do get my scripts, the first thing I do is read through them just generally and write down the scenes I'm in. Then I take time to understand the journey of the character and assess her feelings based off her relationship with the different people involved in that scene. So, for example, if I'm in a scene with Oscar, I know that the mood is probably, he's my favorite brother. So the mood is sorry about that. The mood is like jolly and friendly, and I have a connection with him. So the way I interact with him is not the way I'll interact with a maid like Karun. And if it's a scene I've not done before, there was a scene where I acted drunk. I had to do a lot of research, I watched so many videos. I read so much on the effects of alcohol and how it makes your body function, because again, acting drunk is one of the scenes that is stick. So I wanted to make sure that it was perfect. And yeah, that's how I prepare vocally for music. That one I just practice. I wouldn't say I'm there yet as a vocalist, but I pride myself in practicing. I download instrumentals and I sing along once in a while, those things. Yeah, so that's how I prepare for acting and music. Your second question was about my favorite Ugandan artists. The guy is definitely Michael Wawuyo Jr. He is an outstanding actor. He actually has a movie with Lukman Ali coming out on Netflix. It's called The Girl in the Yellow Jumper. Feel free to catch it when it comes out. I don't know when. And then my favorite female actress, I am going to say it is Marion Racheal. She acts as Linda in Sanyu. She is such an effortless and beautiful actress. So I would say those two are my favorite Ugandan actor and actress. Yes.
Yeah, how have you handled fame? Or how do you handle fame? How are you handling fame?
I'm famous? I didn't know. The first thing is what I've just said. I don't think I'm famous. You will find me in the most ratchet random place because I feel like when you start acting a certain type of way, then it gets to your head and then you feel like, oh, yeah, I've arrived. So I never feel like I've arrived. If anything, I feel like I'm on a journey to where I'm supposed to be. And even when I do get there, I still will remain grounded in the fact that pride comes before a fall and humility costs you nothing. So that's how I handle fame. Just staying humble and also staying true to yourself and your roots, interacting with the same people who I started out with, my sisters, my cousins, just generally remaining the person I was before all these opportunities came my way.
There's a follow-up question in that chat, and I think it's very important. It's someone is asking. Let me get the name. Mwetise. I'm sorry if I've mispronounced your name, but he or she is asking, how do you deal with the pressure that maybe at one point someone else may take your spot?
That's brilliant. That is wow. Big up to you, I won't say the name. Thank you for asking that question. How do I deal with the pressure? I would say I give my best and I ensure that in everything I do, I add something that someone else won't. I feel like in an industry like the film industry, you have to make yourself an asset. You have to bring something different to the table, a different angle, a different outlook, and interpret characters in a way that's so unique that only you can do it. So how I deal with the pressure is just giving 110% in every scene that I have. So that even if the directors do sit down and they're like, you know what, we need a new Melissa. They're like, what now? This chick is she's put on. So just make sure in life generally, you put yourself in a position where you are an asset.
Charlie Gonza asks, I'm currently trying to help my younger siblings figure out this life thing. As a big sister to someone, help with some tips on how to help siblings and many little ones around us figure out this monster of life.
Being an older sibling is tough because we experience things that our younger siblings don't. And when we explain them to them, they don't understand. So I would say for the things you can't control, let them learn on their own through experiences. And where you can, advise. I do find that sometimes I've made a mistake of being too, what's the word? Like I overstick. Because for me, I experienced it like this. Now to me, I want you to feel it like this, like understand it from my point of view. But you have to put into consideration that your siblings are different and they're not you and they have different aspirations in life. So take time to understand your siblings before you try to direct them.
Okay, we have 3 hands up, but Ahimbisiwe Anita has had her hand up for a while. So you can unmute Anita and ask.
Hello?
Hi. Hi, Anita. How are you?
This is not Anita. Anita's friend.
Oh, what's your name?
My name is Sheldon.
Hi, Sheldon. How are you?
I'm good.
Yes. You have a question for me?
Now I wanted to say that I'm a big fan. And when I grow up, I want to be just like you.
Thank you.
Because I like your voice so much.
Oh, thank you so much, Sheldon.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. Sorry, my name is challenging you guys. Just call me Benon. That'll be much better.
Yeah,
I had I had two questions. There's one that was in the chat, but since we're running out of time, I think the better question I can ask is, personally, I also one time tried out acting, like in a play in high school, and due to my physical stature, like I'm a very tall guy, so I kind of had there was a sort of should I say stigma, or like guys looking at me and being like, in the wrong place, what are you doing here? So my question is, in the acting industry, obviously there's a lot of that kind of, like, the bad eyes, guys like maybe judging you by how you look. How do you handle that on a, maybe does not like you because of a certain aspect about you? How do you deal with that?
I wouldn't say in acting, okay, the sets I've been on, I wouldn't say people would despise you for physical attributes, but it's mostly the character. Sometimes the character you're portraying has certain attributes, don't necessarily fit into those attributes. So there's like that thing of like she's good, but she doesn't look like the character we want. How to deal with that, I would say, is I don't even want to lie to you. How to do bruh, this is a trick question. Somehow you will never be enough to the world, but if you understand that as an individual you are enough, and that like God you are enough, all those things people say yes will affect you, but it won't tear you down. Like people say things. I've heard people say things, and people say things sometimes, and you're like, why are you so cold? But even that, like, bruising to your ego, small scratch, it won't tear you down as an individual. So be confident in who you are and understand that you're casted for these things based off attributes greater than your physical appearance. That's also a very, very important feature. So on days when I reach set and I'm feeling like I look shady as Melissa, I remember that, at Racheal, yes, they casted you because you do look like a possible Melissa, but there's something else you're bringing that's not physical appearance. Because if they wanted a very like dashing Melissa, they would have gotten Beyonce or So it's important to remind yourself that there are other attributes aside your physical appearance that brought you to where you are, and that will keep you it will keep pushing you when you feel like, or when people treat you like, so he's tall, now we look at him like this. You remember that, okay, I'm tall. Yeah, sure, I'm tall, but I'm a good actor, and that will keep pushing me.
Thank you, Racheal, for being so open and sparing in Uganda's story. We look forward to seeing more of you. And for the rest of you guys, we have an amazing guest tomorrow as well. As you can see, we are building up towards a certain industry. So we might have George tomorrow. Just anyway, we might not.
That would be
So I hope to see you all tomorrow. Have a lovely evening. Feel free to leave at leisure.